Hello everybody and welcome to another Spirit Island Spirit Guide. Today we're going to be talking about Lightning Swift Strike, otherwise known as Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Thunder, thunder, thunder.
Yeah, sometimes you can see the little strings on it.
Yes.
The whole thing.
Yeah. We're here to guide you for new players. Just focusing on new players, just some general strategy tips to get started. Spirit Island is a very deep game, and there's like a lot of things that we can't really just sum up to say always do this with this spirit because board states can change. But we're kind of just give you like general guidance for these spirits.
Some spirits you can.
Yeah.
They have like one good thing and a pile of trash.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy is pretty simple. He's a low complexity one, and how we talked about John Rockman, Vital Strength of the Earth, 2 weeks ago. This guy is focused on one thing, and that's his offense, as you can see on the summary of powers. He just deals damage, and his job is to just deal a bunch of damage.
Yeah, he's got like fear and utility scores, but the fear is they're afraid that if they build a house, he will destroy it.
Yeah.
And that is not and the utility is that if the invaders have less pieces on the board, then they got less pieces on the board.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, and the control is, well, he can move things around too. Yeah, he can do a little bit of movement. But as you can see, no defense. We're going all in on offense here. We're here to smash, bash, and have a great time doing it. Your two starting presents, you're going to start with the Sacred Site on the highest numbered sands. But as we get into looking at this guide's spirit board, there actually is a good way for you to spread out and get more presence on the board pretty
This is nice
quickly.
from though. The sacred sites are fairly important to him.
Yes, yeah. All right, let's talk about this guy piece by piece, starting with his ability. Swiftness of Lightning. For every feather you have, you may use one turtle power, a slow power, as if it was a bird, fast.
I thought you were just cheating all the time.
No, that's just...
He's got to go fast, friend.
So it's power cards or your innate power. So that's the power on your spirit board. This is a very powerful effect because turns out slow cards are strong. And they're balanced by the fact that you have to do them after the invaders go. And there's a lot of slow cards that deal damage because the idea is, they build up. But then there's the punishment where they build up. So they might ravage as well. With the Swiftness of Lightning, you're able to take all those damage cards and be proactive, potentially even beating the invaders to them putting down Blight or Ravaging. Even exploring as well, like poking off single explorers, is something that Lightning Swift Strike does very well and he can really take advantage of.
Yeah, the special rule makes him very versatile when it comes to major powers that you can pick, and because a lot of the very powerful, very big damage and splashy effects for those are slow powers. But it also creates this kind of like neat gameplay tension where you do want to be still having primarily fire and feather symbols to use your Swiftness Lightning, and then also your innates. But there's a very real chance you just don't see any major powers that care about both of those, really. You need to look at, dip into a couple other elements to get the thresholds on them.
Yeah.
So.
And it's one of those things where you also, it can happen when you get your spirits, where you can sometimes, exactly as Travis says, not hit the bundles. But then you can still play, one feather a turn to hit the most important slow card fast. Because slow cards are still going to do things, but it's just finding, the perfect slow card to make fast that can really change your impact on the game. All right, let's talk about his growth phase, which is a pretty nice growth phase. So we talked about Vital Strength of the Earth. He's a little bit slow and steady. This guy can burst out presence at a pretty good rate. His first option is Reclaim, gains a power card and an energy. This is kind of an interesting thing where there's such a big hurdle that when you're probably first playing this game is something that we call over here called reclaim looping. When you end up just reclaiming over and over and over again because your presence adders don't actually align with your game cards. The nice thing about this guy having it on his reclaim is that while he won't be able to grow quickly, in terms of what's in his hand, it does mean that you can have a little bit more control over your reclaim loop because you're going to be gaining something new and potentially getting out of that reclaim loop if you are stuck in it.
If you're stuck playing the same power card every turn just to like survive against the invaders and keep them under control, you will in theory eventually dig yourself out of it by finding something more efficient, and then that can buy you a turn to put out more presence or something like that.
His presence option is a +2 presence at range 2 and the presence at range 0. So this is a good way for you to spread out on the board and also immediately make another sacred site.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the last one is presence at a range of 1 and +3 energy, which is just a pretty good economy card for gaining money.
Yeah, it's pretty alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, pay some of those major powers a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward that we don't have a gain power option that isn't tied to a reclaim.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Better having a gain power card tied to a reclaim than gain power tied to something that you don't want.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
Or just reclaim.
Yeah, and that's why one thing that, like, when I played Lightning Swift Strike, if one of your other teammates can give a spirit a minor power, I usually jump on it right away because it's a nice boon for this guy. I do. Yeah.
You do like having lots of powers.
Justin's just like, I want lots of cards.
Yes. Lots of choice. But this guy, he benefits from it quite a bit because he has a lot of card plays. He starts with 2. Starts with 2.
Yeah, and it scales up every time you remove a presence.
Yeah. The thing to keep in mind that is very important with this one, that it might sound really appealing to immediately get to 3, because you are only reclaiming on, so you're only gaining a power card on reclaim, you probably want to prioritize just getting a solid economy and then start moving into your card plays. Because 2 is quite a bit, because if you think about it, you're going to go 2 cards and then 2 cards and then a reclaim, right? And at that point, you can now start looking at 3 cards potentially, or even staying at 2.
Yeah.
And then work on the economy instead. Especially because you grow so quick, you run the risk of having too many card plays and not enough cards.
Yeah, we are also going to see that the cards you start with are fairly expensive, and you're going to need that early energy economy before you can start really affording to play multiple cards per turn unless someone's feeding them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless one of your teammates can give you a whole bunch of cards.
And then
in
that
which
changes
case,
that.
we probably just want to be able to play all the cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because minor powers tend to only cost 0 or 1.
Yeah. And this guy's, because he has the adding 2 presence, it can actually go pretty quick, right? Because on your first turn you can get 2 money and 2 card plays, and that'll probably cover you for a bit. And then you can on the next turn you can even just add 1 and gain 3 additional energy, or once again go to 3 for your new energy per turn, which is really nice. All right, on to his innate power, which is called Thundering Destruction. This is a slow power which can be fast if you have a feather, which you would kind of need to. Yeah, you kind of have to have a feather.
You got it.
It's range 1 from a sacred site, target any land. 3 fire and 2 feather, destroy a town. 4 fire, 3 feather, you may instead destroy 1 city. 5 fire, 4 feather, 1 water, also destroy 1 town or city. 5 feather, 5 fire, 2 water, also destroy 1 town city. So, how it works if you get the full thing is you can destroy town, city, town, city, town, city. You get a choice between those.
That's a lot of towns or cities.
Yeah, that's a lot of fear as well if it comes to it. And this is also kind of something that is a little bit something that you can decide and you have a lot of power in, where if you want to wait for a build to get more damage, you can still just treat this card as a slow and make other things fast. But pretty simple innate power.
Honestly, if you're powering out 5 feathers per turn, though, you probably
just go the whole thing fast and just go.
Yeah, you're probably going to be able to afford to make this one fast.
Yeah.
Well, you're playing 6 powers this turn, and all of them need to be...
Yeah.
All of them are turtles?
Yes, every single one of them. It has to be fast.
Yeah. But this is also especially the destroy a city option, destroy a town option is a good way to stop them building cities, especially if you make that fast. So nice consideration.
If you find
there.
yourself reliably able to kill trigger this at tier 2 or tier 3, it might be worth letting them build the city so that you can kill it for more fear.
Yeah.
It might not. It's every game is different.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's look at this guy's starting powers. We got Harbingers of Lightning. This is a 0-cost slow. And remember, all of these can be fast. It As you also see, they all generate fire and feather, so I don't need to say it each time, except for Raging Storm, which generates a water, which is the third thing he needs in his innate power tiers. So, Harbingers of the Lightning, range of 1, any land, push up to 2 Dahan, 1 fear if you pushed any Dahan into a land with town or city. This is where the control comes in. Moving Dahan is kind of like where that is, and is a little bit of fear as well. Lightning's Boon is going to be your teammate's favorite card. They'll always ask, can you give any of my turtles birds?
Can I be fast this turn?
Yeah. 1 cost, fast, any spirit. Target spirit may use up to 2 slow powers as if they were fast powers this turn.
Yeah, this one's realistically never hitting your cards.
Yeah. Yeah, the only time it would is if you're in that situation Travis described where, like, you don't have anything.
Somehow you just haven't hit any birds.
Yeah, and you just want to, like, just go with this. But it is for your teammates because them getting that rush of lightning that you have is a very powerful effect.
Yeah, or if you're playing like a bunch of turtles but they don't have feathers on
Yes,
them.
yeah.
Yep.
Because that's the weird game that you find yourself in.
It could happen.
Like it is something that does happen in this game more often than we'd like to admit.
Yeah. Yeah. Shatter Homestead's 2 costs, slow. Range of 2 from a sacred site, any land, 1 fear, destroy 1 town. So as you can see, there's that same thing. It's like it's an 8 power Thunder and Destruction. This guy can just destroy towns at a pretty good rate. Because the Shatter Homesteads, because it has the symbols, is going to help pay for your Thundering Destruction innate. And then we got Raging Storm, 3 costs, slow, range of 1, 1 damage to each invader. Simple.
Yeah,
Real good for cleaning up explorers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's most of it.
If you've got like Badlands powers,
Yep.
this is also very good.
Yep.
It's worth noting, I suppose, that being able to destroy a town is in the early game or against low-tier adversaries like defending a land.
Yes.
Because
Quite often
they will
it is,
try to
yeah.
ravage 3, you will kill the town.
Yeah.
And if
they
you get
for
to
one.
do it before they get to ravage, they only ravage for 1, and 1 doesn't count for anything.
Yep, and then
Most of
maybe
the time.
you also like push Dahan in and you can just clean that
Yeah.
place up as well. Yeah, that's a very common gameplay pattern for this guy. All right, I have a few minor and major powers to look out for this guy. Surprise, they're going to have fire and feathers on them probably.
Wow.
So one thing I looked for when I was going through this was trying to find obviously things that have fire, feathers. Water was also really good.
Or are slow.
Yeah, just slow
Yeah.
and like deal damage because that's kind of like what you want to expand on rather than like you can get defense cards if they show up, but this guy has the adage of the best defense is a good offense, which
Yeah.
is like the opposite of what it normally is. No, is it? I don't
No,
know.
it's normally the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, it's not the best offense is the best defense.
Best offense is the best defense, baby.
Yeah. Purifying Flame has the fire and the feather. 1 damage per blight. If the target land is mounted or sands, you may instead remove 1 blight. So this is also kind of a defensive card that you could use potentially.
Yeah, because removing a blight
Removing a
is-
blight's defending infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell this one's good for the Thunderbird because it's got the little colors in the corners that say that you should pick it.
Yeah.
They're from the core set.
Yeah. Desiccating Winds, 1 cost. Also, this one also is targeting mountains and sands, kind of like Purifying Flame. You obviously don't want to focus too much on that, but that is sometimes the case that happens with these cards that are hot. It's kind of just like a running theme through them if there's fire.
Yep.
Range of 1, Sacred Site, Mountain Sands. If target land has Badlands, 1 damage, or add 1 damage. This, as Bryn said, with your 1 damage to each invader, Badlands is a good way for you to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it turns into kill a town and an explorer.
Yes, yeah. And then we got Storm Swath, which is our first major. And majors are very fun with this guy for the reasons we talked about. Making them fast is really good. And this one also is actually perfect for him because
It's got the fucking...
it has the symbols.
He's against those guys. It's him. It's probably him in the art.
Yeah. So 3 costs, slow, range of 1 from a sacred site. 2 fear in both origin land and target lands, 1 damage to each invader. This sounds kind of similar to his the 3 cost one that he starts with, but it scales. It has a threshold of 2 fire, 3 feather, 2 water, +1 fear. This power is +1 range. In a land adjacent to both origin and target, 1 damage each invader. In the land where you did damage, destroy 1 town. This is obviously very good with Thunderbird, like insanely good. And then we have Talons of Lightning because those are his talons, baby.
They are, yes.
Yeah, this one's fast, so you don't get that benefit from it, but it does have fire and feather, and it also has a threshold of fire and feather, so just like take it. We're gonna say that for all of these. If they have your symbols, just take it. Like, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to, but that's a good place to start.
Yeah. So fast bird speed, range of 1, target mountain or wetland. 3 fear, 5 damage. If you have 3 fire and 3 feather, destroy 1 town in each adjacent land. Increase this power's range to 3.
That's so range of 3 is like
That's pretty
almost anywhere you want.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
almost the board.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Depending where you're cast like using it from, it might be the
Yeah, in a 3-player game at least.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're playing with 4 players, then you're weird.
There's too many friends. You need to get rid of one.
Yeah, just cut
You
one.
have to,
Do a survival like tribal council, vote one off the island.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
it's
gotta.
like we don't make the rules here.
No.
No.
Well, we do, but
Well, we just.
but we
did.
pretend we
just
don't.
did,
We
but-
pretend we don't because they're tough
Yeah, because
rules.
it's also some
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 People might not like it.
That's Lightning Swift Strike. I played him a lot because he's just like good at dealing damage, and that's kind of necessary sometimes. But I think he's a very fun spirit. He's usually the one that I will give to not like a brand new player if it's their first time playing a board game, but if they understand like the concept of board
Yeah,
games.
if we've ever played a Euro game together before,
Yes,
then
yeah.
like, oh, you
Yeah.
get it.
I'm gonna give you
You're gonna
damage.
understand.
I'm gonna give you damage. I'm gonna say you see a town, blow up that town.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a very good spirit for learning the mechanics of the game because they're quite simple and it doesn't take very long to understand how Lightning Swift Strike works and interacts with the game. And it allows you to kind of, or the newer player to put more effort into understanding how the game is working.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that is another one of these spirits. We're going to be coming in 2 weeks with River Surges. I think the only spirit that we call by like his actual name, River.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's like a real name too.
It is. Yeah, it is a real thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess we could call this guy Lightning, but no,
That's not a real
Thunderbird.
name. That's not a real name.
Yeah. I'm surprised Lightning Bird didn't make it.
No, Thunderbird just sounds better.
It does sound. Well, it's because it's a card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean it's also because it's a
No, it's 'cause
animated show with puppets.
I thought it is because of the the Thunderbird and like Native American myth.
Maybe.
That's where
Oh,
I
okay.
thought of it
I see
from.
we're all approaching this from different.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot, and I'm like that thunder. That's where I came from. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you all very soon for another one. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.